So if you're having pain in your back or pain in your ear or you're having a headache, that's just your brain saying, uh-oh, something's wrong. When we look at headache, we see strokes, we see sleep apnea, which is big. We see a lot of restless leg syndrome. But when we look at it, we're not just processing the headache or the sleep apnea. We're trying to figure out, why do you have the sleep apnea? Why do you have the headache?
Hey, welcome to the I Am Pain-Free podcast. Today we're diving deep with a truly unique doctor, Dr. Hanul Bhandari. He's redefining patient care by focusing on the root causes of pain, wellness, and whole body health. Wow, imagine that. That's someone that actually cares about the person and the root cause. I absolutely love it. Growing up in Texas, Dr. Bhandari was influenced by both modern medicine as well as the ancient Ayurvedic traditions of his family, giving him a unique approach to treating his patients. Now he's a neurology and sleep specialist who's helping transform lives both in his San Antonio practice and nationwide with Sarana Health, a wellness company that goes beyond traditional medicine. It's really exciting. In this episode, Dr. Bhandari shares how he's helping patients find relief from pain, chronic headaches, and sleep apnea, sometimes in ways that you'd never expect. So get ready to hear from him and how he's uncovering the real source of health issues that can lead to true lasting relief. You don't want to miss this episode. It's really exciting. He's an amazing man. Let's go. Hey, this is Rob Renee. Welcome back to the I Am Pain-Free podcast. I'm excited. I have a really exciting guest today. We have Dr. Bhandari. How are you, Doc?
Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm pretty good and glad to talk about pain.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun conversation. I know you do a lot more than pain, so it's going to be fun because obviously we're going to talk some about pain and your history with it, which is actually very interesting, intriguing, and then just talk about how you're helping people. I love people like yourself who are helping people, so I'm excited to learn more about your story. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a Texan raised here for the most part in San Antonio. I went to med school in Texas in Galveston. Ended up going to the neurology route. So ended up at UT Southwestern for med school and then for residency training. And then ended up doing a sleep medicine fellowship at Baylor. So in the neuro aspects of things, but they have the relationships with a lot of other fields. And I opened a private practice. It's been about 11 years now.
Wow, exciting.
Yeah, and then got into finding, of course, helping people close here in San Antonio, but then finding out that there's a lot of other people out there hurting, and so it's important to reach out. So started diversifying and got involved with Sarana Health, which is a wellness company based out in Colorado. I'm their chief medical officer. We're all about wellness because wellness goes a long way. So that's the important part.
Right. Yeah, I like that. What got you interested in practicing medicine? You grew up in Texas, obviously, right? Tell us what got you interested in starting down this path.
Yeah, medicine is an interesting subject in the sense that you're always learning. We should always learn as humans as it is, but medicine is ever evolving. It's so complex, the human body. There's so much to learn. And I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to I had roots into computer programming. I had roots into business and other areas, but I wanted to help out patients. And even my uncle, he's the driving force, my dad and my uncle. My dad, he's a researcher. He's a bench researcher. So he devoted his life to the pursuit of science.
Wow.
He worked a lot with molecular biology and biochemistry. So I learned a lot from him. But he had a lot of information about Ayurvedic medicine. Yeah, and so Ayurvedic medicine is, of course, a basis for a lot of Western medicine, holistic medicine, allopathic medicine, and so on and so forth. So I learned a lot from him. But then my uncle, he passed away in the COVID years, but he was a pulmonologist out in California.
I heard that. What is that? I'm excited to learn about
pulmonology. Yeah, pulmonology is basically like lung doctors. So they work with breathing and lungs. And so he was an intensivist working in the ICU a lot. And I got to shadow him growing up a lot. We used to go to California a lot and shadowed him. And I saw his practice. And I saw the biggest thing is that from a human level, not just as a doctor, but I saw him connect with patients. It was amazing watching him heal patients mentally in who were in pain. One specific case, he was helping out a patient who got cut by a saw in his hand, bleeding, painful. He was in there. The guy was in pretty in duress,
Yeah.
and
Ouch.
he asked,
I would be.
anyone would be, yeah. Instead of focusing on the pain, he directed his attention to his family, to other things, and you could see that connection form. And now, like, that's the moment I was like, I want to be a doctor. I want to help out patients like my uncle is doing, and my dad, how he put the basis for it. And that's how I got into medicine. So, long answer,
Oh,
but you get the idea.
no, I think that's exciting. The respect that you had two people that you obviously they respected and trusted, and they gave you the inclination that this would be something you'd like to do. And I think that that Ayurvedic medicine is really intriguing in the respect that what was your dad's ethnicity? What where do you guys come from? Where did he?
Yeah, my dad and mom both are from India, from a state northwest state called Rajasthan. Throughout India, Ayurvedic medicine's pretty big. It's been around
Right.
for over 5,000 plus years, but
Yeah.
it's ingrained into culture and everything else. But I grew up learning about, of course, Indian culture and everything else, but also seeing Ayurvedic medicine work. And that's why I was
Right.
like, okay, there's more to medicine than meets the eye.
Yeah, yeah, I love that you know that, right? So that the good news is you were introduced to that before you even started into
Oh, yeah,
medical school. So that's pretty cool. So you went in with your eyes wide open.
so to
That
speak. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So the human body is much more than just what's in a written textbook, right?
Yeah, it's about, look, as doctors, and I think as anybody, we should always have an open mind about anything. When
Right.
I have even in my practice, I have patients who go, I've been to 4 or 5 different doctors. No one seems to listen to me. You're the first doctor who's listening to me. And they're surprised. I'm like, there's nothing surprising here. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen to you. And a lot of these patients break down crying, going, thank you so much for listening to me. And I think that is the most important thing: is listening to patients, and that formulates that open-mindedness. Okay, there could be something wrong. Why else would this person be here? Why are they waste? They're not wasting their time. There's something bothering them, and we got to listen to them. So I think a lot of doctors who brush them off or have trained that way, whatever the reason might be, it's important to keep that open-mindedness and go, there's more than just this aspect. There could be, you not only diagnose with an open mind, you should also treat with an open mind, within, of course, reason, but you got to have that open-mindedness. Definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're going into it that way, and I love that you are helping people where they're at, right? Which is really important because you're right. There's so many people that I hear and see that are really frustrated with Western medicine because it's more of a pill for an ill,
Yes.
problem, and they're just it's about how many patients you can see rather than how many you can help, which is really sad. So I love that you have that attitude. It's really neat that people will break down crying because they're
Yeah.
in need of what you're providing. So
Thank
thank you for doing that. I really appreciate you and
you.
glad that you're helping people in that way because I think that's the future of, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, right? I'm just a person who's passionate about health and passionate about natural health and passionate about helping people. And I think that's the future of helping health care is really people who are taking onus of their own health and finding experts like yourself to get them where they need to go, but looking at the whole body as a whole, not just, oh, hey, you're coming in to fix this one little problem, which I think is really neat from what I've learned about what you're doing. Like you said, with the company in Colorado. What's the name of that company again?
Sarana Health.
Sarana Health. Yeah, so, wellness, right? Because wellness is a lot, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's a lot more than just pain. It's a lot more than just the mind, body, and spirit kind of all are encompassed in wellness.
Being pain free is all about wellness. It's an aspect of it. You can't be well without being pain free.
That's super true. So tell us a little bit about some of the studies when you were doing about you were learning about pain, right?
Yeah.
And doing some research and studies surrounding that. So explain some of your past related to that.
Yeah. Even in undergrad training, I did a lot of research and work with pain and neurotransmitters. So I was always passionate about it. It's not just pain starts in the brain. These are all signals going to the brain. Everything is it's the main hub there. And so what we're feeling, what we're experiencing are extensions of those aberrant or abnormal signals. So if you're having pain in your back or pain in your ear or you're having a headache, that's just your brain saying, "Uh-oh, something's wrong. The check engine light is on. We got to get it fixed." And so I started off learning what neurotransmitters are, and these are very cool molecules. They're peptides. They could be small amino acids, and these modulate how we perceive signals. And so I worked a lot with how certain medications modulate those signals, those neural pathways, and that new pathways are formed because of pain or the lack of pain. It's all feedback mechanisms. And so I learned that early on, and how important it is from a pharmaceutical standpoint when you do give a medicine, how it impacts that whole structure in the brain. And it's not just about throwing pills at somebody. You have to understand, you have to get to the root cause of the pain if you can.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's what I
Amen.
learned early on.
I love that because that's what's so key in all the people that I interviewed, right? I really love people who really try to address the root cause of it because
Yes.
Western medicine just really doesn't work well with helping people identify root cause. They're too busy to do so many different things, and they're not necessarily trained to identify the root cause of a lot of people's health issues, and especially pain, because like you said, pain could be just the check engine light that's saying, hey, I've got something wrong. And it might be that the actual source may
Oh,
be
yeah.
your toe, but
Yeah.
your elbow hurts.
I've seen some odd things.
Yeah, it's pretty
So,
amazing how our body works. So yeah, I love that you had that training and background, and then explain your progression. So you're in your own practice for 11 years. It sounds like that's
oh, yeah.
super amazing. So
It's been
that's
fun. A lot of people, when going in medical school and then even in residency, are like, you're doing what? You want to open your own practice? You should be joining an academic center and doing research. And I love that. But my answer to them was, I want to help at the ground level. I want to help these patients who are needing help. And the only way I can do that is to open up a clinic where I can get direct access to them. They have access to me, and I can
right.
listen to them. And there's no restriction in the sense that there's no red tape of academic centers telling me how to do it a certain way, that I'm able to get these patients in same day. For example, wait time for neurologists in San Antonio is about 12 months.
What?
12
Serious?
months. Yeah.
Holy smokes!
So the way we built it is that I said, I'm not going to let this happen to patients who have headaches, who have back pain, who have multiple sclerosis. They can't wait a year to see somebody.
Yeah, that's just insane.
That
Yeah.
is, it is. It's crazy. So I ended up leaving slots open every day for the last 11 years on my schedule, where it's unblocked time, where patients can either walk in or they can call and schedule same day appointments.
Wow,
And that allows these patients who are having these bad migraines to come in, and we can get them the relief there
that,
as soon as possible. It's
yeah,
about being
that's amazing.
patient centric. That's what the important part is.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful because it's so tragic, right? When you literally think about waiting for a couple of days, let alone a year. That's just absolutely crazy. So thank you for doing that too. That's really neat that you're really thinking about the patient and being patient first. And it's really a lost art in our medical system. So it's just beautiful that you're doing that. I want to amplify your voice and amplify your message, and just because I love what you're doing. So tell me more about what other things do you help people with? Obviously, you help people with headaches, right? That's a big important part of what you do, but I know you do a number of other things within your practice that you're very good at helping people with. What are some of those other areas?
Yeah, so we focus on, as we pointed to before, is the root cause. And so there's a big focus on my practice on, of course, what I was trained to do, neurology and sleep medicine. But we
Okay.
look at the root cause to those illnesses, right? So when we look at headache, we see strokes, we see sleep apnea, which is big. We see a lot of restless leg syndrome, parasomnias, which means people are having these weird symptoms at night when they're sleeping. We see a lot of seizures, multiple sclerosis. So the whole gamut of neurological and sleep medicine related. But when we look at it, we're not just processing the headache or the sleep apnea. We're trying to figure out, why do you have the sleep apnea? Why do you have the headache? We're not just going, okay, here's some pills. We'll see you back in 4 weeks.
Right.
We're focusing on, hey, let me listen to you. What is the cause of your headache? And some of these patients are going, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. I'm exposed to a lot of noise when I go to sleep at night that I never thought of before, and they cut that noise out and their headaches are gone. Or a patient who's depressed and eating a lot, and so they're gaining weight, and now they have sleep apnea. The sleep apnea is there, obviously, we treat that, but we go to get them the help they need for their depression so they can start losing the weight. They don't eat as much, and you're getting them back on track. So it's not just about treating what I'm trained to do, but also understanding what is the cause of that and getting them the help. If it's out of my expertise, getting to the right people they can help them. So it's
Right.
about listening to the patient. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So what are some of the things, or I guess like with sleep apnea, right? That the
Yeah.
people, tell us some stories, or do you have any favorite ones of people that you helped with sleep apnea?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have quite a few
I
interesting
can
stories
imagine.
along the years.
I can
But
imagine.
yeah, I think sleep apnea. A lot of people. I'll back up a little bit. It's People think of sleep apnea as just snoring. It's not
Right.
snoring. It's actually a complex disease process, the syndrome, where you don't breathe well overnight, and
Okay.
it's an obstructive issue. It's about the air and airway airflow issue. So you're not getting that air down the back of your throat for whatever reason down into your lungs. Guess what? You're at higher risk for atrial fibrillation, where your heart beats funny. You're at risk for depression, anxiety, weight gain, stroke, heart disease, high
Wow.
cholesterol, high blood pressure, and pain. Obviously, there's a higher hypersensitivity to pain. But lastly, and most important, dementia. And now it's
Ah.
been linked to dementia. So when you look at the big picture, we're ignoring, or at least we're not giving as much clout to what sleep apnea is. I always got referrals initially of patients who are obese. Their BMI, their body mass index is like 30 plus. The quintessential truck driver who
Mm.
can't drive, can't get their certified driver's license without commercial driver license without getting a checkup done. So I had those patients. But then I started educating primary care doctors here, saying, hey, you guys should be looking at other patients besides this. And we started getting that influx with patients who were, their BMI was normal, but they couldn't sleep. Find out they were having sleep apnea. And these are patients who were in pain because they were sensitive to their back pain. They couldn't sleep well. They kept on waking up. So it was a snowball effect where they would get more pain, more sleep apnea, more pain, worsening sleep, insomnia. It's all a snowball effect. So you got
Right.
to rip out each piece, treat it, and then put that patient back together like Humpty Dumpty.
There you go. That's awesome. I love the way you look at that, because you can't just fix one thing and say come back and see me in a couple of weeks. That doesn't help. So yeah, I love the Humpty Dumpty analogy too. That's a good, that's a good one. That's because there's probably many layers to the problem,
Oh
right?
yeah. I had a patient to follow up on that. He kept on having atrial fibrillation where his heart would beat funny and he couldn't do any more running. He would love to run. And the guy's BMI, his body mass index, was just 19 or 20. And he kept on getting cardioverted. And for people who don't know what that is, it's not fun. It's where they take a electric shock, if you will, that's controlled to the heart to get it back in rhythm. And
Okay.
so this patient kept on getting it done. He was on medications for it, but no one got to the root cause. So he was finally referred by a smart cardiologist going, hey, wait a second. There's something else going on here. Why don't you go see Dr. Bhandari? So I saw him and found out he was telling me all the signs of sleep apnea. We
Mm.
treated him. We got him on a CPAP machine, and it ended up that he was no longer in atrial fibrillation. He no longer needed to be cardioverted. He was back to being healthy. He's on the road to
Right.
good wellness and getting pain free.
That's fantastic. So, do you think it was is he still on the CPAP machine? Does he have to be on that, or is there a way that you can get people kick started and then learn how their bodies can learn how to sleep without a CPAP machine? Or I don't know what it is. I've seen the CPAP
Yeah.
machines. I don't know anything about them, so I'm just intrigued. Is there a way, tell this guy's story? Does he have to continue to do that?
Yeah, sleep apnea in his case, and in most cases, you need to continue usually lifelong on it. And for
Okay.
people who are overweight or obese and they lose weight, that's a possibility of getting off of it, right? Some people spontaneously improve, but in his case, we use a FDA approved laser procedure called night laze. It's a cold laser procedure where we're targeting the tissue in the back of his throat that is floppy, and it's, you can think of it like a door being closed, right? You can't
Okay.
get air to pass through it because the uvula and everything else is blocking. It's a gate. It's blocking the gate. So this
Okay.
laser, after a few sessions, is there 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes a session, and you need a few sessions over a few weeks. But we did that procedure on him, and by the end of it, he was off his machine, and he's been off for now. It's been, I think, 20 months. He's been off his
Nice.
machine. He's happier. His back pain's better. His chest pain from the atrial fibrillation has gone away. He's no longer in abnormal rhythm. So he's on the up, and I'm just, those are the biggest rewards, is seeing those patients improve. And if they don't see me again, I am so happy, because that tells
Yeah.
me I've done something good.
That's super, super cool. That's it. That he kept getting his heart shocked, and then on all the medications for that, and he was just going down a path that there was no hope. Just like eventually he's going to have something wrong, and his heart's not going to do what it needs to do. And so for you to help fix the problem from a sleep apnea perspective, and then even help fix him even better to where he doesn't even have to use the machine, that's just an awesome story, right? Because you're really literally helping people at the core of what their issues are, rather than just putting a band-aid on it and saying take an aspirin and come back and see me in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's super cool. I love those stories. So I appreciate you a lot. What's the best way? I know that people, you're working, so let's peel back the onion a little bit on this Colorado company and what you're doing with the
Yeah.
wellness thing. So how is that different than your practice, and what are you doing there?
Yeah, Sarana Health is an amazing company in the sense that it's about focusing on what's broken in the healthcare sector, right? We're getting higher healthcare costs. We're having doctors who are overworking. They need to see more and more patients every day to
Yeah.
get to cover their overhead costs, cover their employees, right? So instead of seeing maybe 10 patients or 5, 7 patients like my uncle was doing back in the 90s, they're needing to see 30, 40 patients a day just to cover everything. So what does that mean? That translates to patients not getting the attention they need. That means doctors could be missing potentially important clues from patients. It could mean more medical errors. But at the end of it, it means there's more regulation on something where there should be just a simple patient to provider relationship. And that's where
Right.
Sarana steps in to a big extent. It's about readjusting that patient provider relationship. It's about listening to patients at the root cause of everything. And no pun intended, but it's a root cause. We're looking
Right.
at wellness from the root cause of it. We're analyzing these patients who have been lost in the system, who are dejected and almost hopeless, going, okay, can you help me? What is the reason of what's happening? And they've been through 2, 3, 5, how many ever doctors, and they're not getting the help they need. They usually will come to us. We'll understand we'll listen to their story, give them the time to let them talk, and we have that conversation. It's a great dynamic for the patient to let it all out there, and almost just, it's a mental and physical. That's what wellness is about. It's a combination of everything, right? And so they're talking about their pain, they're talking about their sleep, they're talking about their neurological issues, whatever it might be. And at the end of it, we're able to set them on a right path and direction. And we hope that at every visit we'll keep on getting them to that optimal wellness standpoint. So that's what
Yeah.
we're doing with Sarana. It's a national approach. We know we have a few states working on, of course, Texas and Colorado, and then a few more states are being added. But we're continually growing, and we're getting that message across, which has been an amazing process. And we're hoping to keep on getting our voice heard to patients who need it, who
Yeah.
deserve it, and to get to a better state of well-being.
That's fantastic. So is Sarana, is it a healthcare organization or is it a insurance
It's a
company?
company. It's like a, you can think of it like a telemed clinic.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a clinic approach where patients can directly interface with providers. So you can sign up and talk to a provider, and then go from there. So it's like getting all the red tape out of the way, if you will, and
Yeah.
just getting right to the doctor.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So yeah, let's get the word out for that so that we can help people no matter where they are, which is neat and that's pretty cool. Like you're physically located in San Antonio, right?
I am.
So you can only be in the old days, you could typically only help people in the surrounding San
Yeah,
Antonio area. But
yeah,
now with Sarana Health, it sounds like you're able to help people all across the country as that company expands into the other states. So that's really cool. What is your specific role at Sarana Health?
I'm their chief medical officer.
That's
So
fantastic.
I'm giving the direction on how to get wellness on the map from a medicine standpoint, training providers, whether they're doctors, PAs who are going to work or are working with Sarana, and also seeing patients on my own because I think that's
Right.
important.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wish all the luck in the world
Thank you.
with that. That's obviously with everything you're doing because I really respect you and I really appreciate you for the approach that you're taking to health because I think it's refreshing. And have you heard of the MAHA movement, the Make America Healthy Again
Yes,
movement?
I have.
So what are your thoughts on the MAHA movement?
Anytime we can get health on the map is a win, right?
Yeah, there you
We focus on people's well-being. That is big from as being a doctor and seeing that health is going to be back on the map. That's bigger than anything else. I'm all for getting the word out for health.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm so excited for that as well. Just in the respect that I, like you, want to get people well, right?
Yes,
Let's get people healthy. And if people band around a movement and the movement's called Maha or blah blah blah, as long as people are excited about getting well and getting healthy,
getting
and
well. Exactly.
yeah, that's a drum I want to keep beating, right? I love that. Man, what a pleasure. How do people get a hold of you, Doc?
Yeah, so they can get to me on LinkedIn. I think that's the best way to
Okay.
get a hold of me through Sarana, the website, sarana.health.
How do you
Contact
spell
us.
Serrano? Just so people, if they're
Yes.
driving, how do
Uh,
you spell it?
S for Sam, A, N for Nancy, A dot health. Sarana dot health.
Serrano.health.com. Is that right?
No, just Sarana dot health.
Okay, just Serrano.health. Okay, got it.
No
Got it. Got
problem.
it. That makes sense. Yeah, awesome. So they can get a hold of you there or they can
Yes.
reach you on LinkedIn. And is it just search for your whole name, Dr.
Yes.
Hanul Bhandari?
Yes. You'll find me hopefully easily.
Yeah, good. We'll make sure that we have the links in the show notes as well. So people, if they have access to those show notes, they can get a direct link to both Serrana.health as well as your LinkedIn profile there. So
Sounds great.
after this recording, I'm going to go to LinkedIn and make sure that I connect with you there as well. So hopefully we can get a lot of
Sounds
other people
great.
to do the same and just wish you all the success in the world. Thank you for being on the I Am Pain Free podcast.
Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate all you do.
Yeah, appreciate everything you do as well. God bless you. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All
Be
right,
safe.
take care.
Stay pain free.
Jane Pain Free, amen. As many of you know, my focus at the I Am Pain Free podcast is help as many people get pain free as possible. And we strive to use all natural and alternative therapies to accomplish that goal. Well, today I'm thrilled to introduce to you a revolutionary product that aligns perfectly with our mission of natural health and well being. It's called Exodus by Exodus Strong. At Exodus Strong, their mission is to help you break free from the grip of big pharma and embrace natural solutions that promote vibrant health. With a foundation rooted in the wisdom of the Bible, the all-natural supplement harnesses the power of 7 key ingredients specifically mentioned in the scriptures. The flagship product Exodus is designed to be transformational, providing benefits such as energy enhancement, stress relief, blood sugar stabilization, pain relief, and anti-inflammation. So join the movement, right, to help them get 1 million new people to read the Bible every day and transform their health naturally. When you purchase Exodus, use code IAPF at checkout to receive a special free gift with your order. It's time to exit the old you and step into a new chapter of vitality and well-being. To get there, you go to exodusstrong.com. So it's Exodus, EXODUSSTRONG.com. And check out and use that IAPF for the I Am Pain Free podcast. And then you'll experience the benefits of the Exodus mineral blend. This mineral blend is amazing. It's got the molecular hydrogen generating formula that's backed by hundreds of scientific studies. So begin your journey feeling great and looking great. Don't miss the opportunity to take control of your health with the all natural way. So go check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it.